Are you hungry?
Blue. Green.
Green is not a creative color.
I grew up with these sorts of YouTube videos being what me and my friends would watch. I have no idea why they were so popular. Part of me thinks it was due to how popular random humor was. You'd watch something like this.
Mushroom, mushroom. Look at my horse is amazing.
And then get onto something like llamas with hats.
Carl, what did you do?
Me? I didn't do that.
And eventually fall down the dark YouTube pipeline, showing your friends what you find. Becoming an increasingly more difficult game of, if you think X is weird, you should try watching Y. Until you're unironically watching something like this.
I must find the perfect spoon.
Honestly, I love these videos and think there is real art to a lot of them. The limitations of technology and funding, mixed with the limitless freedom being possible in the current time due to the rise of YouTube, you end up with these man-made atrocities that are sometimes beautiful. 1912, April 14th, 11:40 p.m. The iceberg was invented by the Titanic. Since then, it has changed its path in life, from being a destroyer of ships to a valued member of society, in the form of a commonly seen tier list. How does this tier list work? The viewer asked the YouTuber. Usually, it works by listing things from a certain topic in an order of most well-known at the tip of the iceberg to the very dark depths, displaying the most obscure or least known things. Today we will be looking at the start of the weird, scary, and obscure YouTube Videos Iceberg, created by the Reddit user named Gurgit8my411. Let's begin. Salad Fingers 16 years ago on 44 million views. This is so well known that it almost stepped over into mainstream YouTube territory, serving as a mascot for this uncanny side of YouTube that was developing at the time. Although it went on to be a series, the original video is what is most known. The animation style has a very MS Paint feel to it, and the music is an unintrusive loop. The story follows a man called Salad Fingers who is on a quest for a new spoon. He explains that touching rusted spoons gives him a great feeling, which he describes himself as
Orgasmic.
He arrives at a man's house who only speaks in hoarse neighs. But Salad Fingers seems to be able to understand him regardless. Once brought into the house, Salad Fingers seems to realize he needs to leave and there are no spoons, but insists on rubbing a rusted kettle before he leaves.
I'd like to caress this rusty kettle.
Then the video fades to black. I know what you're thinking. It's hard to imagine how this only has 44 million views. It deserves much more. Whilst it may seem like such an average video, at the time, it opened the floodgates for this style of content. The Hornets channel joined on the 20th of June 2009 with a combined view count of over 115 million. Hornets exists as an early film project that has some ARG, augmented reality game, vibes to it. All of the videos are uploaded simply as entry, followed by a number. In the video series, they explain that in 2006, Alex was in the process of shooting his student film entitled Marble Hornets. Over the 3 months that this took place, his film crew complained of his increasing labels of stress and irritability. Near the end of shooting, Alex halted production indefinitely and dropped the unfinished project. When Alex was asked what to do with the tapes, he replied, "Burn them." Eventually, the person running the account convinced Alex to give them to him under the condition that he never mentions them again. Eventually, Alex transferred to another school and hasn't been seen since. They then explain how all the tapes are unnumbered and missing timestamps, making it impossible to determine the order or date, other than summer 2006. Did you ever play either of the Slender horror games? They were inspired by creepypastas made about a very tall man in a suit with a face that lacks features. This, in short, is an adventure showing this film student being taunted by him. Entry number 1 shows him immediately with no sound. This whole thing is really quite impressive, and the quality of it isn't awful whatsoever. It is somewhat like a modern take on the style of the Blair Witch Project. Make something seem real by placing some real people in the dark with a camcorder. The entire series is almost 100 videos long, and the length of each ranges from a couple of seconds to 14 minutes. If you have the time and are willing to suspend your disbelief, I encourage you to check them out. Now this is a weird one. Squidward's Suicide is a famous creepypasta about a lost media episode where Squidward game-ended himself. Now as a fully grown adult, I can see how ridiculous believing this is. There have been many people who have either claimed to have seen the episode and even more people that have set out to debunk it. Whilst it doesn't exist and it never did, there is another video from the time based on the idea that has gathered some traction. 11 years ago, 1 million views. Crudely animated and awfully voice acted, Squidward is tormented and driven insane by his neighbors and pulls the trigger.
You gotta look beautiful, Mr. Krabs.
It's not fair, Clarinet. We could have been big. We could have ruled the world. If it wasn't for these useless feet, we could have ruled.
Yeah, not great. The original Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, 12 years ago. 75 million views. This is a perfect example of what I was referring to earlier when I said that I find some of these beautiful. This is an original set piece, cast and audio, inspired by old kids' shows similar to that of Play School or Sesame Street. The video begins showing off a number of felt-crafted objects. A clock is ticking and quiet industrial ambience plays, eventually zooming out and showing the group. From complete silence to upbeat music, the notepad opens up and asks everyone,
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative.
What then appears like an education music video to encourage kids to be creative ensues. As the cast open up to the idea, one of them suggests drawing a clown. The notepad insists they need to slow down and pours black ink all over the picture, at which point the music stops and the uncomfortable sound of thick paint moving plays. It is almost like a constant back and forth of building your trust up and then tearing it down. The music begins to play again and everything is fine, up until the point at which they are asked to rearrange sticks and leaves to spell their favorite color. One of them makes the mistake of picking green, which is apparently not a creative color.
Green is not a creative color.
Again, the music kicks back in. Now everyone is getting as creative as they can. The visuals change from puppets to 3D animation, revealing the set. The music is building, and they are becoming more frantic as time continues. It eventually stops when they see the cake full of meat, and all look traumatized. The scene fades out.
Now let's all agree to never be creative again.
There are heaps of videos in this series now, and I really think the creators are genius. If you've somehow missed these, I reckon you should check them out. Scary Maze Game, 16 years ago, 49 million views. A lot of us would use this as a prank. I didn't have a younger brother, so we had to traumatize my friend's brother instead. We would ask him to follow the little square with this finger, and we would try not to laugh as we knew what was coming up.
Huh?
And now we have a generation that won't answer calls from private numbers. This was actually a playable game as well as a viral video, the link of which can be found in the description. The PilotRedSun Channel joined on the 25th of June 2010 with a total of 60 million views. This channel has no continuity in anything other than its style. The stories don't link together. It appears mostly like animated skits of different topics. Their most popular video came out 10 years ago and sits on 14 million views, titled Garfield.
Don't do it, Garfield. That's our pet dog, OD.
You're going into orbit, you stupid mutt.
God, it are the yield.
It's text-to-speech making fun of how awful Garfield is. I don't really know what more to say than that. Their next most popular, which I enjoy a lot more, is titled Not So Fast. It's on 6.1 million views and came out only 3 years ago. It's really great to see that this channel is still fairly active, as sadly most channels in this list are not.
Just act natural.
Do you have any idea how fast you were going?
I'm pretty sure I was below 10 above the speed limit.
You got busted some tail lights, have you noticed?
I don't see anything.
This video reminds me heavily of the early PC point-and-click adventure games. The way things open, how some things are still and others aren't. I really enjoy most of this creator's works.
I'm gonna take your candy. Not my sweets, not my treats. Are you hungry?
The Peanut Vendor, first aired 90 years ago, views unknown. I've actually used this footage before. The Peanut Vendor was a form of experimental animation that unintentionally terrified children who saw it. At some stage, it was uploaded to the internet and regained traction due to its unsettling visuals and audio.
And then I am sure you will grieve sore.
Everywhere at the End of Time. Initially released in 2016, the most popular upload is only 4 years old and sits at 31 million views. Everywhere at the End of Time is an incredible art project that offers to show the steps of dementia. Something about it is so powerful that even though I don't know what having dementia is like, it feels believable. The project is split into 6 different albums, referred to as stages. I will read out the description of each stage whilst playing the relevant music. Stage 1. Here, we experience the first signs of memory loss. This stage is most like a beautiful daydream, the glory of old age and recollection, the last of the great days. Stage 2. The second stage is the self-realization and awareness that something is wrong with a refusal to accept that. More effort is made to remember so memories can be more long-form with a little more deterioration in quality. The overall personal mood is generally lower than the first stage and at a point before confusion starts setting in. Stage 3. Here we are presented with some of the last coherent memories before confusion fully rolls in and the gray mists form and fade away. Finest moments have been remembered, the musical flow in places is more confused and tangled. As we progress, some singular memories become more disturbed, isolated, broken, and distant. These are the last embers of awareness before we enter the post-awareness stages. Stage 4. Post-awareness. Stage 4 is where serenity and the ability to recall singular memories gives way to confusions and horror. It's the beginning of an eventual process where all memories begin to become more fluid through entanglements, repetition, and rupture. Stage 5. Post-awareness. Stage 5. Confusions and horror. More extreme entanglements, repetition, and rupture can give way to calmer moments. The unfamiliar may sound and feel familiar. Time is often spent only in the moment, leading to isolation. Post-awareness stage 6 is without description. The AlanTutorial Channel joined on the 17th of June 2011. 29 million total views. This whole channel is a comedy/horror piece that pokes fun at the insane how-to video boom around the time.
Hey guys, thanks for coming to my Bluetooth page. Today I'm gonna do a new tutorial how to pick up a chair if it falls down.
This is a man that is completely unstable, trying to teach us how to do simple things and struggling to do so.
First thing you need is just to lift. If the chair doesn't get up, just leave it.
He appears completely obsessed with tutorials, and there is an uncomfortable element to all of it, as he does not appear to be safe or alone.
Okay, this is the tutorial. This can be a tutorial, so this is the tutorial. This is the YouTube tutorial.
The series was created by Alan Resnick, a comedian and psychological horror writer, most well known for his Adult Swim short films such as This House Has People in It.
She's stuck. What do you mean she's stuck? Madison, what did you do? Madison?
Why are you talking to her?
She's completely out.
She's out.
She's not moving.
What do you mean she's not
She's not moving. She's not.
Tom, what is that? What are you...
She's not moving!
Oh my god.
Oh!
Unedited footage of a bear.
Hey, Mom! 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 Hey, Mom! Mom!
That's when I stand my ground. With Claradrell.
Which are both masterpieces in my opinion. Scary Rocking Chair. 15 years ago, 7 million views, plus many re-uploads that have lots of views. This is almost identical to the Scary Maze game. But instead of watching a maze go and getting jump scared, you're told to focus on the rocking chair. Patrick gets in shape. It is hard to know how many views this had, or when the original was uploaded. Currently, it's on the String Anime channel with the description stating, "Yes, it is true. We, the Stringini Bros, are the artists behind Patrick Gets in Shape." Originally, we had this on another channel exclusively. However, since then, that channel has been overtaken by saboteurs. The video simply shows Patrick running around his house talking to himself about getting in shape. Until something goes wrong, he gets too in shape.
Something's going wrong! No! I'm getting too in shape!
The Cyriak Channel joined on the 30th of March 2006 with a total view count of over 800 million. They are one of the most successful creators in this space and are still uploading to this day. Their new videos still get millions of views, but his most popular videos of all time are from over 10 years ago. Meow Mix. Sitting at 156 million views is a music video, for lack of a better term, featuring multiple cats meowing and a drum beat. Something about it comes across both really well made and somewhat cheap. It's quite hard to describe. But with 156 million views, there's a good chance you've already watched this. Sitting at 124 million views is their second most popular video. This video features an unusual song with a sheep running. As the video progresses, the sheep continues to change. Some of the shapes created are really quite amazing. 15 million views. This video is described as cows versus aliens. Again, this is Cyriak's signature style of weird music video. The quality and effort of this one appears to be much higher than the past two examples. This is a channel worth checking out if this sort of thing interests you, especially since they're still as active as they are. Keffi commercial. 17 years ago, 2.6 million views, although it has been re-uploaded many times since. I know this video, I think a lot of us do, but I didn't know it was called Keffi commercial. I knew it as Scary Car commercial, and that re-upload is sitting on 21 million views. This final video fits into the dumb jump scare category along with the scary rocking chair and scary maze game, the three amigos of dumb jump scares. This isn't even the tip of the iceberg. There are 6 whole other layers remaining, and the content genuinely gets disturbing as it goes deeper, less art projects and more real-world horrors. I plan to cover them all and create a playlist so they're easily viewable in chronological order. Depending on when you're watching this, other episodes may be available. Thank you for watching, and please make sure to subscribe and comment what your favorite entry was, or if you have any fond memories with old YouTube videos. And until next time, keep fearing the living.